Hi, everyone. Lauren Culp here, President and CEO at CUInsight.com, and I'm bringing you a 3 questions video interview with a really special guest. I am super excited for this conversation today. Joining me is Heather McKissick. She is the CEO at CUES. You may have seen her around Credit Union Land. In fact, I'm almost certain that you have. We are going to have a really great discussion. Heather, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Lauren. I'm excited to be here.
Me too. I'm going to dive into our first question here. You've been at CUES for 6 months now. What's going to look different for the future of CUES? What is CUES going to do differently going forward?
Well, a lot of exciting things. Speaking of excitement, I will say that my word of the year for 2024 that was randomly generated for me is the word pivot. And
Oh,
I thought that was just a really cool word of the year to have because for me, although it has a lot of personal application, it also really has to do with what's happening at CUES. I mean, when you pivot, you keep one foot firmly planted in what's working well. So I can tell you, we know what works well at CUES. We are so excited about continuing to convene and facilitate leaders from across the credit union movement for fun, interactive, informational experiences. That's not going to change. But when you pivot well, you also keep that foot planted and pivot in a new direction. And I think for us, what that means is really starting to lean in on more than just events and developing a more full spectrum approach to how credit union leaders can develop themselves and their teams, coming up with some innovative tools and products and services for our members. So I'm really excited about continuing to do what we do well, but also getting out there when it comes to developing the leaders of the movement. I'm excited and looking forward to testing and piloting with some of our members some really innovative new things.
we are super excited to see all of the new things coming from CUES. I want to ask you too, because you've been writing a lot about resilience and courage. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and how it's playing into your leadership style here?
Well, for me, that has to do with CUES being a great source of thought leadership and information about some of the issues that are really facing the industry. And this concept of resiliency continues to show itself as credit unions navigate what's happening across our movement. It's not only about challenges with emerging technologies or security risks, or trying to recruit and secure the right talent to help us lead into the future. It's also about the skills that we need as individual leaders. Resiliency means how do we tackle the challenges that we face and continue to bounce back, to continue to be motivated so that we can motivate others. So when I'm writing about resiliency, some of it is my personal concern, wanting to make sure that I have the skills and the capability and the fortitude to move my organization forward. But I also know that there are many leaders of credit unions who are looking into the future and aren't certain which way it is going to lead them. So the courage to lead ourselves into the future is just as important as the courage to lead our organizations. So that's what I've been writing about. How do we blend those two things together so we can be the leaders that our industry really needs?
I cannot think of 2 better topics to be talking about for the future of our industry. I mean, there's so much change. There's so much, it feels like maybe adversity around deposits and interest rates and what people want digital experience. I mean, the list goes on and on. So
No question.
what a great set of topics there. We're going to link to some of those articles that you've been writing, but also wanted to ask you, so 2 big CUES events are over now. So what is next? What's next for you?
Oh, well, what's next for me? I'm going to rest and breathe for just a minute. It's been fun, but I've seen some of our signature events for the first time. Really, the Directors Conference was wonderful. The most recent symposium, you were there. It was a great success. So I'm real happy about those. What we're poising ourselves for next, we have a new iteration of our CEO Institute. The FinTech Focus is coming up in April. That is at the Cornell School of Business. And we're really excited about that because, speaking of which, a lot of leaders are facing a lot of big decisions around fintech. So excited about that conversation and leading people through those discussions. And then, of course, we also focus a lot on governance. So the Governance Leadership Institute at the Rotman School of Business is also coming up in June. And that is something else to look forward to, really, for our director level people who want to learn and understand how to be the best governors of our credit unions as they can possibly be. So those are two upcoming events that I'm really excited about. I would say personally, the month of May is going to be really big for me because my son graduates from high school and my daughter graduates from college, both in the same month, like within 2 weeks of each other.
That is amazing. At least it's not on the same day. You don't have to decide which one you're going to.
That is definitely the bright side. I agree. I mean, I'm excited, but this is going to mean empty nest and all of those things that, boy, talk about courage and resilience.
Yes. No kidding. Oh my gosh. Well, we will send out some cards. I don't know. Do you need a care package at right graduation?
Lots of chocolate.
We'll send our best wishes for all of those changes. Talking fintech, talking governance, those are two huge topics for the industry right now. Fintech, how are we going to be able to, is it partner, is it compete? What does it look like? And then from a governance side, I mean, there's nothing more important than those folks who are truly steering the future of our industry. So
thank you.
Are amazing. Well, Heather, do you have any final thoughts for our audience or final asks of our listeners today?
Well, I would just say continue to watch this space. If you're a CUES member already, thank you. We're so excited not only about what we have been doing, but what we have in store for you. And if you're not yet a CUES member, I really would welcome you to reach out to us. Reach out to me individually. I'm the only Heather there, so that we can help you understand how not only our events and our programs and the amazing network of relationships that CUES creates among people, but some of our new products and services, how they can benefit you as a leader and therefore your entire organization. So I think that would be my one request. And I also want to say thank you, Lauren. CUInsight is just such a great partner with us. We always enjoy seeing you and your guests, and we learn from listening and watching what you're doing. So thanks very much for that.
Well, thank you for that, Heather. And we feel the same way. The feeling is mutual. CUES has been an amazing CUInsight partner for, gosh, I think going on 15 years now. Good. We love the work you do. We're always inspired by it. And we're really excited to see all the new things in store.
Thanks.
All right. Well, thank you to all of our listeners for tuning in today to this episode of our 3-question video interview series. We will link to everything we talked about today, as well as some contact information for CUES and the team over there. And as always, please reach out if you have any questions. We will be back again next time. Thanks, Heather.